All right. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others because he was afraid that harm might come to him. Notice Jacob has caution. Why? Well, he sent Joseph to his brothers, and Joseph never came back. He's not going to make the same mistake with Benjamin. All right, he's not going to send him. That'll become important in the story. So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain for the famine in the land of Canaan, or the famine was in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land. Here we go, back to Joseph. He's ruling over all of Egypt. He's number 2 in command. He's the one who sold grain to all its people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. Now, does that remind you of a dream Joseph had? Remember when he told his brothers about the sheaves and about the stars and the sun? And hey, in my dream, you guys bowed down to me. And here we see it in 42:6. Here his brothers are bowing down with their faces to the ground, just like the dream. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them. Okay, so now he's fully aware of who he's dealing with. But he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. Where do you come from? He asked. From the land of Canaan, they replied, to buy food. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Apparently, the Egyptian hairstyle wasn't the same. For whatever reason, Joseph's appearance was not familiar to them. Maybe they just tried to get him out of their minds based on the guilt they felt, but they don't see him for who he is. And then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, "You're spies." Wow, really? Yeah, he starts accusing his brothers. You're spies. You have come to see where our land is unprotected. Okay, I know who you are. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'm going to tell you you're a threat to the security of my nation. No, my lord, they answered, your servants have come to buy food. They still don't understand where they are and who they're talking to. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies. No, he said to them, you have come to see where our land is unprotected. You're enemies of the state. But they replied, your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man who lives in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no more. One is no more? Wait a minute. One is standing right in front of you who you're saying is no more. The irony of how God works this out is just amazing. Joseph said to them, it is just as I told you. You're spies. You're sitting here in front of me telling me that I don't exist anymore. Joseph has opportunity here to really take revenge. He could kill them all. He could. He has that kind of power. But look what he does. And this is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Here we go. They're in trouble now because Jacob's back in Canaan land. He's holding on to Benjamin with both arms. And now they're being told that this is the test they have to come through if they want the food. Send one of your number to get your brother. The rest of you will be kept in prison so that your words may be tested to see if you are telling the truth. If you are not, then as surely as Pharaoh lives, you are spies. Okay, we're going to jail 9. We're going to send one back. And he put them all in custody for 3 days. Just imagine. You guys sold me into slavery. You had no problem telling my father I was dead. I could have your heads. But notice what God does in Joseph's heart. I mean, we think about revenge, don't we? In our culture, people like to hit somebody back or pay them back for whatever wrong they perceive was done to them. Joseph, even though he's putting them through this test, he is not taking revenge at the level that he could. Some would say at the level he should for what they did. On the 3rd day, they're in jail 3 days. Joseph said to them, do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison. Oh, Joseph's backing off a little bit while the rest of you go. I'm going to keep one. I'm going to send 9 home. While the rest of you go and take grain back for your starving households, I'm going to send you back with some grain as well. But one of you is going to stay in prison. But you must bring your youngest brother to me so that your words may be verified and that you may not die. Again, Joseph is not issuing an idle threat here. He has the capacity to issue the order to have them all killed. So he's laid down the gauntlet. Instead of keeping 9 and sending 1 home, he's keeping 1 and sending 9 home with food. All right. They said to one another, oh, this is insightful. Surely we are being punished because of our brother. Notice how guilt overcomes the conscience when the consequence shows up. Look at that. We're being punished because of our brother. We know we lied. We know we sold him into slavery. We know we told our father he was dead. We saw how distressed he was when he pleaded with us for his life, but we would not listen. That's why this distress has come upon us. Wow, so they understand the consequences here. Reuben, remember he's the oldest son, born through Leah to Jacob. Didn't I tell you not to sin against the boy? But you wouldn't listen. Now we must give an accounting for his blood. They did not realize that Joseph could understand them since he was using an interpreter. So they're speaking in Hebrew, ostensibly. They don't know that Joseph understands them as they debate their fate and realize the consequence they're facing. He turned away from them and began to weep. Here's the heart of a godly man. These people have sinned against me, but they're my family. I can't kill them. I'm being reunited. God somehow is going to work this out. Joseph is overcome with emotion, and he turned back and spoke to them again. He had Simeon taken from them and bound before their eyes. Now you remember Simeon is the guy that went into Shechem and basically wiped out the whole town back when they were in that phase of the journey. Simeon brought violence to Israel. All right. He's the second born to Jacob through Leah. Okay, so they're watching Simeon get arrested. He's going to stay in jail until they come back. Joseph gave orders to fill their bags with grain and to put each man's silver back in his sack. Okay, so they're paying for the grain, but Joseph says put the money back in their backpacks and to give them provisions for their journey. This was done for them. They loaded their grain on their donkeys and they left. Oh, I bet they thought, well, we're done with most of the trauma. But that's not really true. At the place where they stopped for the night, one of them opened his sack to get feed for his donkey, and he saw his silver in the mouth of his sack. Have you ever had an adrenaline rush knowing that your life could end at any moment? I'm sure that's the kind of feeling that was going through the bloodstream of this one, knowing that silver belonged to Egypt because they were supposed to pay for the grain. My silver has been returned, he said to his brothers. Here it is in my sack. Their hearts sank, and they turned to each other trembling and said, what is this that God has done to us? They understand that their consequence is now between them and God. Of course, they believe that Joseph is long gone. They don't understand Joseph was standing right in front of them. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it rich how God lets this play out? So many lessons here. When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them. They said, the man who is Lord over the land spoke harshly to us. He treated us as though we were spying on the land, but we said to him, we're honest men, we're not spies. Well, yeah, you're honest men if you're not dealing with trying to get rid of your brother. Okay, isn't that the human conscience, right? We're good guys. Oh yeah, that thing where we decided not to kill him, that was good, but we sold him into slavery. Oh yeah, we convinced our father he was dead. We lied But, we're good guys. Well, there they are, telling it to their father. We were 12 brothers, sons of one father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in Canaan. Then the man who is Lord over the land said to us, this is how I will know whether you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me, and take food for your starving households, and go. All right, but bring your youngest brother to me, so that I will know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will give your brother back to you, and you can trade in the land. As they were emptying their sacks, there in each man's sack was his pouch of silver, and when they and their father saw the money pouches, they were frightened. I think you really have to step back and understand the power Joseph yields in Egypt. I mean, they're not talking about just some city official. They're talking about a guy who can command life and death over them. They are terrified to think that they can be now accused of stealing their money back. Their father Jacob said to them, you have deprived me of my children. Joseph is no more. Now Simeon's no more because he's locked up down in Egypt. Now you want to take Benjamin? Oh man, Jacob's having a meltdown. Everything is against me. Then Reuben, again the firstborn, said to his father, you may put both of my sons to death if I do not bring him back to you. Entrust him to my care. I will bring him back. So the oldest brother gives dad the guarantee. What does dad say? But Jacob said, my son will not go down there with you. His brother is dead, and he is the only one left. Again, why is that important to Jacob? Because Joseph and Benjamin came through Rachel, his beloved. All right? They're precious to him. He's already lost Joseph, at least in his own mind. That's what he thinks. He's not going to lose Benjamin under any circumstance. If harm comes to him on the journey you are taking, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in sorrow. I just can't take it. So what do we learn today? That's chapter 42. We're going to see resolution as we move forward from here. But just understand, there's a consequence for evil. And God has a way of working it out so that what goes around comes around. These 10 brothers are paying a high price emotionally and physically in some ways, and in their minds, maybe they're going to be executed for the things that they've done. They feel the guilt. Are they repentant? Well, we'll just have to follow the story and see what happens from here. God bless you, church. Serve him well today.
Who is it who for sinners shed his blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood? It's Jesus. But do you know who he is? He's the image of the invisible God, and he's the brightness of his glory. The first, the last, the future, the past. He is God.